Charlie.
Hello and welcome to the Loop and Bar podcast. This is episode 19 and my name's Kate and I'm coming to you from North Wales in the UK. It is Thursday morning in between Christmas and New Year. Can't remember the actual date. Anyway, we've had Christmas and it's nearly New Year, so I hope everybody had a very, very lovely Christmas, festive time. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a lovely festive period. Perhaps you have a different type of celebration. Hopefully you had a lovely time and saw your family, or just had lots of time to relax. Eat lots of lovely food, whatever your festivities sort of included. So, Avion and I had a very nice, quiet Christmas. We tend to this year and last year we just had a Christmas dinner at home, just the two of us and the dog, obviously. Just a lovely, relaxing day. Avion didn't have to work. He just had a little bit of work actually. He had to feed his calves. He's got some of his own calves, so he had to go out and feed them and just clean out their shed. And I cooked us some turkey. We accidentally bought an £18 turkey, which is giant. It's from a person in the village who supplies turkeys. He hand rears them every year. Sorry, I've got a little bit of an itchy eye. And so we got a turkey this year, and we always buy one for Avion's sister and her husband as their Christmas gift as well. So, but we didn't realise how large they would be. You just order a turkey and you get whatever you're given, and we got an £18 turkey, which is huge. And I worked out that it would have, taken about 5 hours or something to cook, but on Christmas morning, it was delivered on Christmas Eve, so on Christmas morning, the two of us, after a bit of a meeting around the table in dressing gown, my dressing gown, not both of us obviously, only I was wearing my dressing gown. I don't know why I said that. We decided to chop the turkey in half. Giving us, not quite in half, we chopped it in half, and what we ended up with was £7 worth of turkey to cook, which was only a good couple of hours in the oven, a bit more than that. So that was brilliant, and I've got to say that we're still eating that turkey. So I cooked that £7 of turkey on the day, and ever since then Avion's had turkey sandwiches every day. And we've had 2 turkey curries, which are delicious, 2 different recipes, but I've got this turkey curry recipe that's gorgeous. It's got pineapple and lemon juice in it. I love tangy curries. So I've been enjoying turkey curry, and I believe there's still some today, so I think we'll be having it for lunch as well. But we're breaking from the turkey and we're going to have lamb chops for tea, so that's something nice to look forward to, something a bit different. Anyway, that was our Christmas, and then on Boxing Day we went to Avion's parents and we joined all of the family there, all the little children and all the all of Avion's sisters and brothers-in-law, and all our nieces and nephews, Avion's cousin and auntie, and obviously his parents. And that's a bit of a family tradition. We gather there Boxing Day and have another Christmas dinner, which was delicious, loads better than the one I cooked. Avion's mum is a really wonderful cook, so it was a really beautiful meal. And yeah, we gave the children presents, and we all exchanged some gifts, which was really lovely. Yeah, just a very lovely day. And then I think I dropped Avion off at the pub. Oh yes, I did, with his friend. His friend met him at the pub, and then his friend stayed over at ours on Boxing Day night. And then the next day, which was yesterday, I think, I was back at work, where Avion went up a mountain with another friend. So he's had a really lovely few days off work, so that's been very good for him. And he's back at work today, and he's out farming as we speak. So I thought I'd do a quick podcast. I have to go to work this afternoon, only for a couple of hours, but I thought I'd try and sneak in a podcast. I've got lots to show you. So I'll just have a little drink before I get started. One of the first things I'll show you actually is the tea I'm drinking. I haven't done that for a while. I sort of don't normally do that because it's just normally just usual Tetley tea that I'm drinking, or Redbush tea. But I was sent a very beautiful gift in the post, a complete surprise, totally out of the blue, and I wasn't expecting it. And it arrived on Christmas Eve. I had two really lovely pieces of post right just on Christmas Eve. So this is one of them. The tea was in the package. This is the tea, and I'm not even going to attempt to read it because my French accent is terrible and I don't even know how to say French words. But here's the tea. I hope that will focus. I'll hold it still for a little while. Hopefully that's going to focus for you. Oh, I've got the letter in. I'll just bring that away slowly. I'm experimenting with not making everything go fuzzy. So this was sent to me by Melody of the Mandarins podcast. So thank you, Melody, so much for this wonderful, absolutely beautiful package. What a lovely surprise to get on Christmas Eve as well, like a Christmas present. And the tea is, now then, that's all in French. It's a black tea, and I'm pretty sure it's got apple in it. Wait, I'll just grab the letter off the wall. So I can tell you properly what's in it. I got a really lovely handwritten letter, which is always a real treat as well to get through the post. Right, let me find the bit about the tea. Bear with me. Okay, here we are. So, it was bought... it's one of Melody's favourites, and she bought it while visiting Normandy with her parents, and it's a blend of black tea, apple and caramel, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous, and I've got it in I've made it in my teapot. I've shown this teapot before on the podcast, but I'll give you a little close-up of the squirrel. There we are. So I've got a little bit more of it in here, so I can keep drinking that as I'm podcasting. It's very delicious, and it's a loose leaf tea. It looks absolutely beautiful in the package, and it's got little tiny shaves of dried apple, so that's really delicious, and you can smell the caramel. It's very sweet coming through, so you don't need to add anything to it. I don't think I can show you because it will pour out of the cup, but it's just the tea with water. Beautiful. So thank you, Melody. That's going to be lovely over the next couple of weeks to enjoy in the cold weather. And the other thing that was in the parcel, now this was absolutely, just blew me away. 3 balls of the most beautiful yarn. I can't believe Melody sent me 3 balls of yarn. I've been treated so much lately by people sending me really lovely things. I had a beautiful package from Australia just a few weeks ago that I showed you in the previous podcast. I've got another little thing that I'm going to show you in a minute, and then, and this, oops, so if I can get all 3, I can show you. Now again, I don't think I can pronounce this, but there you go, you should be able to read the label. Tinners or Tines, I'm not sure how to say it. Just show you one at a time so I can show you a bit better. where's the letter so I can give you the right information about the yarn. So it's called Tines or Tines, I'm not sure how to say it. It's a beautiful rustic Latvian yarn, and Melody is apparently currently knitting a sweater in this. Is that what she said? Yeah, a sweater. So I'd love to see that actually, Melody, if you're watching. I'd love to know what the pattern is that you're using. But here's this beautiful yarn. And I actually looked, I found the website, and they have more colours as well. So it was lovely to see the website and the rest of the yarn that they sell. And it's really gorgeous. And it's absolutely, perfectly my shade of grey. It's like a very warm, rich, full shade of grey, and it's slightly heathered, and I love that. And it's, now the label's not in English, so I don't think it tells you on the label what the weight of the yarn is, but it looks to me like fingering weight basically. So again, it's slightly rustic, and it's going to be perfect for colour work. So I spent a considerable amount of time yesterday on Ravelry looking at different ideas for projects, because I've got 3 balls of that. There are, I'm sure it says here how many metres. It's 100 grams and it's 350 metres. So I looked on Ravelry to see if there were any small cardigan projects that I might be able to get out of that quantity of yarn. Bearing in mind that I want to use it for colour work, so I'll probably add in some other yarn as well, and that will obviously increase the yardage in terms of what I've got available to use. How do I say that? It means that I'll have more yardage to work with. That's the best way to say it. And I'm probably going to incorporate some Jamiesons, because they've got beautiful colours. It's the same weight and exactly the same feel. It's just about the same amount of rustic. And I think to marry some beautiful Latvian yarn with some absolutely beautiful Scottish Shetland yarn would be perfect, especially for colour work. So I'm hoping to make that into a lightweight cardigan. So watch this space. I'm still doing some research. Basically I think I want to do a really quite a petite cardigan with probably a colour work yoke. So I've been looking for ideas. If anyone's got any ideas for that kind of cardigan, that I'd be happy to hear about that. But I've been looking at designs by people like Kate Davies. There was a pattern I found called the Plum Frost cardigan on Ravelry, and there are a few others, or possibly I might just knit. I've found a few plain cardigan patterns in fingering weight, which I may, if I'm adventurous enough, be able to incorporate some colour work into, but that will require some extremely tricky working out. But you know, maybe I could try that for the new year. So that beautiful yarn is going to become a garment that I'm going to treasure. So thank you, Melody. A wonderful, wonderful, lovely surprise. I really will treasure that. I'm really looking forward to using it. And the other thing I got on the same day through the post, or just have a little sip of tea. The other thing that I got, oh my gosh, so beautiful. So this is definitely a handmade card. Yes, it is. Yeah, and a lovely note inside, which was very uplifting and very positive and encouraging for me for the podcast, which I think is, you know, I really appreciate that. And this is from, now I hope I say your name properly, because I'm not sure how to pronounce it. When you look at it, it's like Martha. So I think that's how you say your name. If it was in Welsh, it would be Martha. But I think Martha. We'll stick with Martha. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Please feel free to correct me. But Martha, very, very kindly, and again, total surprise, it was so lovely, sent me a beautiful handmade card. I mean, it's so simple, but it's so beautiful, with these really lovely different colours, different patterned papers. And she's written me a lovely sort of letter inside the card as well, which was really nice. So that was pride of place on my, I've got an old antique pine sort of cupboard stroke shelf unit downstairs next to the Christmas tree, and all the Christmas cards went on there, although I've got a few on the dresser still as well. And the other thing she sent me, I think maybe, Martha, did you make this yourself? very, very clever and totally, totally intrigued and really want to have a go at doing this. And it's so beautiful and delicate. A little, I might just have to do that, to make it stay still. Origami star. And it went straight onto my Christmas tree after I'd admired it. Hopefully that's focusing. It's absolutely beautiful, and I'm totally, I think I'm going to probably look up some origami on YouTube now, because that has inspired me. It looks so delicate and beautiful, and yet again so simple, but I'm sure it took a lot of skill, and there's no way I would know how to do this unless I had some instructions. So I would absolutely love to have a go at doing this, and it's a good excuse to buy some beautiful papers as well. But mainly I'm just absolutely loved having this on my tree, and the light shone through it, making it look really pretty and delicate. So it was a just absolutely lovely gift, a really lovely surprise. So thank you very much, Martha, as well. It's really nice, very, very kind. Right, I'll just have another little drink. Oh, actually, she also sent me, this is from Martha too. I've had the tea, it was delicious. She also sent me a tea bag. And again, I don't think I can say this because it's not in the language that I know, but this was the tea bag. Is it focusing? Hopefully it is. And did she say in the letter what it was? I can't really read the back. It's in German, I think. No, well, maybe. I can't read when I'm podcasting. No, I don't think it says what the tea is in the letter, but it was absolutely delicious, and it was very sort of Christmas spicy sort of tasting as well, so that was lovely. I had that last night. So thank you very much, Martha. That was lovely. I sent you both messages on Ravelry. I hope you got them. Maybe you haven't been on Ravelry for a few days because it's Christmas, and I think people are just concentrating on family at the moment, so perhaps you haven't seen the messages yet, so hopefully you'll get those soon. That's another thing. I don't know if anyone's noticed, probably not, because everyone's so busy with Christmas and enjoying seeing people, their family, and just having a rest from everything. But I haven't been on Instagram. Again, I kind of have a little bit. I can go on my computer on Instagram, and I can do things like looking at other people's posts, and I can like and comment, but I can't post anything at the moment. And that's because my camera's broken completely. It's totally given up. So when I say my camera, I mean my phone. Oh, the blue tits at the bird feeder. Oh, it's so cute. They're getting braver. I need to get some more camera footage for you of that. Anyway, I'm getting distracted again. It's going to happen every time, isn't it? Oh, it's so cute. I put a piece of apple in there as well, and I was taking the seed. Oh my god, it's so cute. Right, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Instagram. I can't post anything on Instagram at the moment because my phone is broken. I'm using my old phone at the moment, so I can still text and keep in touch with people. But it's a very, very basic phone. It's got no camera function or anything like that, or no internet. It's just literally for texting and calling, which is how I actually prefer my phones to be. But in order to stay in touch on Instagram, which is really important, especially for keeping up with people, well, I just love to see what everyone's doing on Instagram, really. I have to have a camera phone, a smartphone, so I've ordered a new one. It's just a cheap and cheerful one, really, but it did say in the description that it will work on Instagram, so we'll see. And hopefully that will arrive in the next couple of days, so hopefully I'll be able to be up and running and posting again on Instagram. So if anybody's, I don't know if anybody has, but if anybody's sent me any messages or tagged me or anything like that over the last week or so, I do apologise. I haven't really been responding because basically I haven't been on Instagram because it's broke for me. But I'll be back up and running in a few days, hopefully, if my new phone works okay on Instagram. So, but I still can dip into it, I just can't post. So anyway, that'll be back up and running soon. Right, I'm going to show you a few more things now. Let's get stuck into some knitting, I think. I have got finished object. I nearly forgot. Do you know what? I was setting up the camera before podcasting, and I usually just like press record, sit on the stool and make sure that it's the right distance. I don't know why, because I've put tape on the floor to mark where I should sit and where I should put the camera, so but I still check it every time. And I thought to myself, Kate, do not forget to talk about the jumper because this is my Christmas jumper. I'm really proud of this. I knitted it in probably about, was it a week, 2 weeks? Maybe in under 2 weeks, I can't remember exactly. Do you know what? I've forgotten to bring the magazine with the pattern in it, which was silly of me. That's downstairs. I showed it on the previous podcast episode though. So if you're interested and want to know how to get hold of the pattern, or just want to see which magazine it came from, just have a look at the previous podcast, episode 18. Or I can't really send you a link to it because I've looked on Ravelry for the pattern and it's actually not on there. I think just because it's a magazine pattern. And although it will be on there now that I'll be putting my project pages on there, so there'll be my entry for this project on there, if that makes sense. And also I did have a lot of people asking for the magazine. Now I was sent the magazine by Jo, my friend Jo from our Ravelry Knit Lounge in the Ravelry Loop and Bar Ravelry group. She very kindly sent me the magazine. You can get it in newsagents. It might still be available. It's the December issue of the Knitting magazine, and it's got like an illustrated girl on the front knitting. So that's what to look out for. Yeah, I can always send you a picture of the magazine anyway if you want to know. But the pattern is called Into the Woods, and it's by a lady called Pat Strong. And this, I'll show you the detail of the yoke. Basically the pattern, the detail, is on the yoke. I'm just trying to look in the mirror to make sure I can show you. And it goes all the way around the yoke. Oh, I won't get too close. I actually got a little bit of food on it yesterday, so I hope that's not showing up. Don't know how I did that. I'm not normally a messy eater. Okay, so basically the pine trees, I'm going to call them pine trees and not Christmas trees because it means I can wear it for the whole of January and February and probably March. I bet I'll need it in March as well. It's super chunky yarn, and again totally forgotten to bring the yarn up because I've been knitting it downstairs. Sorry, but it's Drops Drops Eskimo in the pale grey. Now I used it's not the yarn that was recommended in the pattern, so I used about 12 balls, maybe 11 of the balls of yarn. Basically I ordered 7 because you need 7 balls of yarn for the suggested yarn, but I didn't account for the fact that it would be a different yardage. Completely forgot to do that, so it quickly became obvious to me as I was knitting that I would need more yarn, so I just ordered the same amount again because I didn't want to run out. What with it being near Christmas, I wanted to make sure I had enough yarn, so I have got a couple of balls left over. I'd definitely be able to make a hat or some mittens or something cosy with those, so it won't go to waste. So it's Drops Eskimo. It's really soft. I suppose if you've got it right next to your skin, it could be a tiny bit rustic, a little bit, but that's absolutely fine. The neckline doesn't go up too high. I think if it was a polar neck, it might be slightly tiny bit rustic feeling on your skin. I have toyed with the idea of making this into a polar neck, but I don't know, I think I might just leave it as it is for now. I'm really proud of it, and it's the fastest that I've ever knitted a garment, a full garment, well, a large garment like this. I was really spurred on by the lovely ladies in the Ravelry group who were sort of cheering me on and saying, you can do it. So, and possibly a couple of people in the Ravelry group are planning on knitting it as well, so hopefully that will happen, and I'll get to see some other people knitting it up too, so yeah, that's great. If you get stuck and need any help, let me know, because I've managed to do it somehow. I was a bit concerned that I wouldn't understand how to do the decreases with the chart, but it actually, once you start doing it, it does become quite intuitive, very intuitive actually. So And the trees are simply, the detail is simply just knitted in with a pearl stitches, so the trees are just in the garter stitch. It's bottom up in the round. Fantastic way to knit a jumper, because you knit as far as the underarms, then you knit the arms separately. Did all of that in the round. I think I did it with magic loop. Then you join it all together onto one needle, and then you just knit the yoke, and then you're done. So it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You don't get any of that thing, well, what I've got with the project I'm going to show you in a minute, where you've just got the sleeves to knit down and you've got to turn the whole thing. Yeah, magic looping sleeves when they're already attached is a bit of a pain, actually. Oh, sorry, camera ran out. I think it does half an hour. I always say this, it records in half an hour increments, so obviously I've been talking for half an hour, so I think I need to really get on with it, because I didn't want this to be too long of a podcast, say that every time. Got loads to show you. Right, so that's this Christmas jumper. Really proud of it, absolutely love it. Don't know if there's anything else I need to tell you, except for I'm really proud of myself for doing it, and it's the first time I've ever had a Christmas jumper, so hooray! Right, next thing I'm going to show you is a work in progress. You have not seen this for a very long time, but you have seen it if you've watched the podcast from the beginning. I showed it in the first couple of episodes, I think. I have worked on it quite a lot since then, but I haven't worked on it recently. But I've been spurred on by my success of this jumper, and I've thought to myself, Kate, why on earth can you not just get this other one finished? Because it's chunky yarn, you desperately need another chunky jumper, it's nearly finished, just get it done. So this is what I'm going to work on over the next, I'd say, week or so, and I'm planning to have this finished. It won't be by New Year, because that's only in a couple of days, but yeah, I think, yeah, I'm going to have this finished in the next couple of weeks. So, it's the green moss stitch jumper. Now, if you're eagle-eyed, or not, you probably don't even have to be eagle-eyed to see this, you will see quite a large mistake that I did. There was a small portion right in the front of the jumper where I forgot to do the moss stitch. So there's a little line of just plain sort of, where it looks like ribbing. I didn't notice that until I'd got quite a few rows down, and then I thought, no, I can't rip back. If I did that now, I probably would rip back, because it's such an obvious thing. And I can't use that for the back of the jumper because it's got a dropped neckline in the front, which I really like. Which, incidentally, this one doesn't, which I would have probably preferred. It's the only thing I would have said probably alter about it if I did it again, but it's okay. But yes, so I think what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can see it. I'm just going to put it out there and show you, because you might have noticed it anyway. I don't quite know where to put this so that you can see it on the camera. I'll just move it back so you can see the whole thing. I'm leaning really far back now. Anyway, you can see how much I've got to get done. I think what I'm going to do is probably knit a pocket, or do some sort of stitchery magic there to try and either conceal it or make a feature of it, so possibly it will have a little patch pocket added on. This is only a jumper for me to wear around the house. Possibly I won't even bother to do anything about it, and I'll just live with it. I don't know yet. But it's just there, it's right under my arm, and it's right on the front of the jumper. Oh dear. Never mind, that's fine. Now this is a lovely, chunky, really warm jumper, and I've knitted this quite sort of longish as well, which is good. So it's going to keep my sort of hips and waist nice and warm. And I am nearly at the end of one of the sleeves. I like my sleeves quite long, and I like to be able to fold them up, because I like the option of having them long. And then of course I've got the other sleeve to knit, and that's all I've got to do, except for sewing in the ends, and then perhaps doing some pocket magic on the front. I can't believe I've done that really, but it doesn't matter, does it? So I'm actually, now I'm holding it and looking at it, I just really want to get this finished as well, because I feel really proud that I've finished this jumper. I can definitely do this one in the next couple of weeks. So that's what's going to be my TV knitting over the next couple of weeks. Me and Avion have been recording on Series Link, The Mentalist. And I know it's not a new series, it's been going for years, well, not been going for years, but it's quite a few years old. But oh my gosh, I've got a massive TV crush on Patrick Jane. That's his character name. He's gorgeous, and I have told Avion. Avion does know, and it's okay because Avion's kind of got a little bit of a TV crush on Patrick Jane's actor, the lady. She's called Lisbon, but I don't know what her real name is in real life. So that's fine. That's absolutely fine. We can both enjoy that TV series for 2 reasons. It's really good storylines. Pretty much we can just about follow the stories. We're not very good at that because we get a bit distracted. Avion tends to fall asleep and I'm knitting a lot, so when we're watching telly, so anything that's any more complicated than I'd say The Mentalist, then we're never going to understand the storyline or follow it, but we can just about do that. We help each other along through the story. So anyway, that's what I'll be watching. We've got loads of them on TV Series Link, and we just work our way through a couple every evening, which has been lovely in front of the fire. For more reasons than one. So that will get finished in the next couple of weeks. The pattern, it's not a pattern as such. I'm making it up. I'm following a formula, a series of tutorials by the Fringe Association. So if anybody wants to know more about that, let me know. Just ask me either in the down bar in the comments here, or come over to the Ravelry group. Pop into the Knit Lounge. That's the best place to come and chat to us, unless you want to introduce yourself first. But the Knit Lounge in the Loop and Bar Ravelry group is a good place to come and meet friends. Just ask me there and I can send you links to that if you want to have a go at doing your own improvised top-down in the round jumper. It's a really good tutorial. So that's that. So hopefully that'll be finished by the next podcast, and I might be wearing it. Next finished object. Ooh, I'm going to whiz through these now. Oh, one's on the ironing board. Bear with me a second. Oops. There's pins in there. I just blocked it quickly before. I literally finished it just before podcasting. I may or may not put a little bit of footage here of me doing that. I'm going to put them on so I can show you. I love these. I'm so proud of these. They've taken me a long time because I've been distracted by other projects, and that's the only reason. But I absolutely adored knitting these, and I can see more pairs of these in my future because I love knitting this stitch pattern. And I knitted them on my higher sharps, and they're such a pleasure to knit with as well, especially with this pattern. Beautiful. So here they are, my treehouse mittens. I'll give you a nice close-up. And I love them, absolutely love them. I've done the exact same thing again and totally forgotten to bring the yarn ball up. There's no yarn left. I literally used every single bit of yarn. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to point this out to you as well because you might have seen it. There's a little bit where I forgot to do the pattern there and I just garter stitched it, which I might be able to stitch over with a bit of the yarn that I finished this thumb with, but I'll explain. So I used up all the yarn. I literally ran out of yarn about ½ an inch before the end of the last thumb. So I don't know if you can tell, but yes, you can tell. That's a very slightly different shade and slightly different thickness. But it was either that, I just found this, oops, that's what I finished it in. Can't even, I think this is a Drops Merino. That's not what the mittens are knitted in. They're knitted in, what are they knitted in? Something else. A merino and silk blend, which I can't remember, but I did say it on the last podcast. If you want to know, ask me and I'll send you the information. Oh dear, I thought I was organised because I've got a list. Look, got a list, but not so organised because I've forgotten most of the things that I wanted to talk about. Anyway, it's a beautiful merino and silk blend. It's a really lovely sort of almost lavender shade of grey. And it suits the stitch pattern really beautifully. The stitch pattern shows up really, really nicely with this yarn. So I was ever so pleased with the result. I made a few modifications. The cuff in the the pattern's by Melody of Mandarines, the lovely Melody. I love her patterns. And I've done the treehouse hat already, which I really enjoyed, and I've showed that on the podcast as well. So it's nice to have the set, even though they're in different yarns. So in the pattern, the cuff is actually twice as long and then you fold it over. But I'll be wearing these with my long winter coat, which has got very tight cuffs here. So I didn't want to have too much bulk around my wrist, so I knitted a shorter cuff, which was a very good job, given that I literally only just had just nearly enough yarn. So if I'd have done the full cuff, I would have had to have bought a new ball of yarn. What's the other modification? Oh yes, I only did 4. I don't know if you can see that. I'll just move my head out of the way. I can't see if that's focusing or not, but I'll do it this way. The pattern calls for you to do, if you look at the picture of the pattern, there are actually 5 tree repeats, but I've only done 4 because I've got small hands. Basically, they're really little child's hands. So if I'd have done an extra, that last tree repeat, then they would have just been too long for me. So I just went as far as the 3 trees, and then I didn't do the last rounds 1 to 12 of the chart. I just started straight on the decreases. And then the other modification I did, I tried it the way that the pattern says first of all. This is for the decreases now, for this bit. But when I knit the second mitten, I decided to play around with it a little bit, just to make the end a little bit flatter, lie a little bit flatter. It wasn't quite lying flat, so I don't know if it was the way I was knitting it. But the second mitten, I decided to move the points at which you do your, sorry, not increases, decreases. So I moved them to all of the decreases in my modification were just done at the sides here, rather than at points all the way around. And I think that's given a really nice flat, slightly flatter finish. And then I think I ended up with something like 4 or 5 stitches at front and back, which I then kitchenered. And that's different to the pattern, to what the pattern tells you to do. So I hope Melody doesn't mind that I modified a little bit, played around a little bit at the end, but it just made it fit my hands a bit better. I've got really little hands, and I just needed to just slightly alter the way I finished them to make them fit. So they're nice and flat, and they've blocked out beautifully. I wish I'd written down how I'd done the modifications. I didn't. But if I knit them again, which I'm absolutely sure I will, I think I'd like to knit my sister a pair of these. And maybe my friend Emily. And I think they'd look really beautiful in a very slightly variegated yarn, not too variegated. What's the word when it's just... Oh yeah, semi-solid. I think that would look really beautiful. Jules of So Sweet Violet did a really beautiful version of the treehouse hat in a Madeline Tosh semi-solid, and it looked absolutely so divine. It was gorgeous. So that's kind of, I think I'd like to recreate that in the mittens if I do those again. So, but I'll have to write down what my modifications are next time. I might pop them on Ravelry on my project pages. I'm going to try and get better at that in the new year. New Year's resolution, update all my Ravelry project pages, because I think that's a really handy reference point for people when you're talking about projects. You can just say, go and look at my Ravelry project pages. So hopefully in the new year there'll be up-to-date details of all my projects on there. Will it happen? I'm not sure. Yes, it will. Okay, right, I'm going to show you. I really enjoyed knitting those. I'm actually a bit addicted to that pattern. I loved knitting them so much. I'm really pleased with those. I can start wearing them now as well. So, I'm going to show you very, very quickly another finished object. It's a sewing finished object. I'll talk more about these in the future podcasts, I think, because there's a bit of a history to them. But I'll just show you this quickly as a finished object, because I'm aware that time's going on a bit. If you follow me on Instagram, or if you happen to catch any of my posts before my phone broke, just before Christmas, you might have seen that I was making a winter fairy. I started making these little dolls, cloth dolls, quite a few years ago when I used to live in Cornwall, so at least 6, 7, maybe even 8 years ago. And I've got quite a few of them lying around in baskets in the sewing room, naked. Because I've made the dolls, but then I did make clothes for them, and then I've gifted a few dolls away to children in the family, but I've gifted all the clothes from the other dollies with them, because I like to give them an option of a wardrobe, which is always lovely to receive, isn't it? So I'm afraid I've got a few of these little dollies lying around naked. So that's something I need to do for the new year, is to make clothes for them, and then think about how to go on with them actually, because I'll just show you the doll anyway because I'll talk about them more in a future podcast. But I got one of them out and I decided to make a winter fairy to go on my tree. So here she is. So the doll itself is, I'll give you a close-up. Oops, and I'll just do that so that it makes sure it, focuses. So she's made of linen. She has embroidered hair. I'll just do that. It took me quite a while to work out a good way to do her hair. I hope this is showing up. I hope you can see the details. I might take some photographs and put them on, perhaps on Ravelry actually, so that you can see in more detail. And I embroidered a little gold braided to her hair as well, because I just thought that made her look a bit Christmassy and pretty. They've got really nice simple faces. They've all got the same face, but I'm wondering, in the new year, I'd like to keep the features the same, but I might give them different coloured hair, and I might use some of the Jameson Shetland yarn because there's some really beautiful natural colours. So I might be able to create some sort of different, not characters as such, but just make some dolls with different coloured hair in really beautiful colours. So it's a jointed doll, so her arms do. I'm aware that this is probably quite blurry. Oh. Is it going to focus? Not sure. Don't know if it's focusing. Hopefully. So she's got jointed arms and she's actually got jointed legs. Excuse me, Dolly. I'll just do me. She hasn't got pants on. So she's got jointed legs as well. Some of them I did put little buttons here. Sorry if this is blurry. I'm not quite sure how to show this very well, but anyway. And then basically I just grabbed a bit of this tulle from my sort of sewing baskets stash, and a bit of organza, and sort of gathered it all up, stitched some beads on it, and sort of stitched it onto the dolly to make this little dress. And this trim at the bottom is a really lovely little sort of pom-pom trim that my friend Claire sent me with my first order from her shop, Wren and Ivy. I've mentioned it a few times. If you like Tilda fabric, pop to Wren and Ivy on Etsy. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll send you a link. But she sells some really beautiful Tilda fabrics and haberdashery, just like this. So that was really lovely to find a really beautiful use for that. So yeah, there's my little winter fairy. I don't know how well you've seen that has showed up, because I can't really see in the mirror behind the camera how well you can see it, but she sat on the Christmas tree quite precariously, because I dug a Christmas tree up off the farm, put it in a pot, and over the next few days, sort of over the Christmas few days, it slowly and gradually went sideways, and she looked as if she was going to sort of nosedive off it, but she did manage to stay on there. So perhaps she can go on my dresser soon, because the Christmas tree won't be up for very much longer. So that's my little winter fairy. I'll tell you more about those dolls in future episodes of the podcast, I think, because yeah, I've been making them for a long time and I haven't even mentioned them on the podcast, because basically they're all naked and I didn't really want to show a naked doll. It looks a bit weird. So but I think in the new year I really would like to make use of some of my really beautiful lace weight luxury yarns and create some really beautiful clothing and knitting patterns for those dolls and see where I can take them. So there'll be a little bit more about that in future episodes. Let's talk about the cowl. I'm going to vote. Right, I did have more to show you, but I think I might leave it now because I had a favourite object from my house. I'll show you that next time because it'll still be there. I've got some beautiful yarn or new acquisition, but I can show you that in the next episode. It's not going anywhere. It's so gorgeous. I really want to show you it now, actually. But I just need to talk about the cowl because, now hang on, let me look at my list. Right, first of all, I need to remember, before I talk about the cowl, I want to say a massive thank you to anybody who has left me feedback on the Loop and Bar Etsy shop. I really want to say a massive heartfelt thank you to you. I really appreciate all of your positive feedback. I haven't replied to the feedbacks because I think that would take me a really long time, and I've been a little bit busy, but I've read all of the reviews and feedbacks that you've left me, and they make me smile and they really warm my heart, and they really are very encouraging. And anybody who's commented or sent me a message to say to encourage me to carry on making the bags, Martha did in her card, which was lovely. And Melody mentioned how much she liked, she loves the bag that I sent her as well. So I just want to say a really big thank you to anybody who's left me positive feedback, who's left me a review on Etsy. Thank you for taking the time to do that. I really appreciate it. It's very much appreciated, and it's very encouraging. And in the light of all of that, I've ordered lots more lovely fabrics. Oh, shall I show you just one? Yeah, I've got to just show you one. Hang on, sorry about this, it's going to be crinkly. Oh dear, what a horrible noise. I've got to show you this. I've got to show you because it's just so gorgeous. It's a little bit of a taster of what's to come. I have seen this fabric used on, I think Molly from the Homespun House maybe used it a long time ago in one of her earlier episodes. But I didn't realise until I bought the fabric. I saw this a couple of months ago, but it's taken me a while to get around to actually ordering it, and it's gorgeous. So I should be making some project bags in this. So that's just one of the fabrics. It's a girl or a lady, she's fishing, and there's a deer with flowers in his antlers, and just some beautiful sort of garlands of flowers. It's just the most delightful, absolutely gorgeous print. And then I've got one in cream as well. I only got a small amount of the cream, but I suspect I'll buy more. Can you see that? Where's some of the ladies? A bit hard, a bit faint to that one. I don't know if it's coming out very well, but it's just a really beautiful, really beautiful print, so I can't wait to work with those. That's just one of quite a few. I've got quite a few. I've been buying from Dina Designs, Dashwood Studios, some more Tilda from Claire, my lovely friend Claire, and a few others. So look out for more Etsy bags in the Etsy shop, and I think I might be thinking about maybe adding a couple of more designs in there as well, so we'll see. That's just what's in store for the new year. So hopefully throughout January I'll be making and updating the shop, the Etsy shop, so look out for that. Now the Cal. We've been talking about having another Cal, a loop and bar, another knit along, or crochet. You can sew. It doesn't matter what craft actually. I put it out there on the Loop and Bar Ravelry group in the Knit Lounge. Incidentally, I know I've said it before, but that's totally the best thread to go to for interaction, social activity, chatter, showing your projects, talking about who you fancy off the telly, silly haircuts from the 80s, me, Jo, Lisa, Wendy. Lovely birdhouses. Charlene showed a beautiful birdhouse table that her son had made her, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I think she showed it after I showed my bird feeder. So anything you want to talk about in there, just treat it as a knitting group. So if you want to join the Ravelry group, it's lovely for you to introduce yourself in the introductions thread, because you can just tell me or everybody a little bit about yourself. Or if you want to do your introduction in the Knit Lounge, that might actually be better, because more people will see it and know who you are from the offset as well. So if you want to come and introduce yourself in the Knit Lounge and just bypass the introduction thread, totally fine, good idea. And then just you can be away then with your chatter and your interaction, and just use it however you want to. So we've been chatting about having another Cal, and I think what we'll do is, if this is okay with everybody, do a January knit along. People might be, I'm not sure if people are going to be busy, if they're going to have time to join in. I hope that works with everyone. But one of the suggestions for the theme of the Cal, maybe a couple of people suggested it, and I really like it, is to try something new. So you can do whatever project you want, big or small. It can be a tiny project or a really big project. You don't have to finish it. It's just a knit along. Don't have to have a finished object at the end. but what I'm suggesting is that it will be called the Try Something New Cal. I'm not entirely sure about the title yet. It's not. If you've got any better suggestions for the title, please let me know. Let me know in the Knit Lounge, and we'll get a thread. I'll open up a chatter thread, because it's definitely going to be a January cal. Because I'm going on holiday in February. I won't tell you about that today. I'll tell you about that next time. It's very exciting, but I'm going to be quite busy in February, so I'm hoping to do a cal throughout January, and then. Sorry, talked for a really long time again, and the camera thingy ran out again. So anyway, I was saying about the cal. Yes, my idea is that it will run throughout January. So I think I'll open the chatter thread after I finish podcasting. So by the time you're viewing the podcast, there'll be a chatter thread. I'll call the chatter thread the January cal, and I think the theme is going to be try something new. So by that I mean try something that you've never tried before. So it could be a knitting or a crochet technique. It could just be a new type of needle that you've never tried before, or crochet hook, a different brand. It could be a technique. You might have never done magic loop, or you might have never done cabling or colour work, or you may have never crocheted, perhaps you're a knitter, or the other way around. You may have never done sewing. If you want to do sewing, join in with that. As long as your project incorporates something new to you, whether it's a material, a tool, a technique, or just the type of project. Maybe you've never knitted a garment, maybe you've never knitted socks, I don't know, maybe you've never knitted something for someone else. So as long as something in your project is new to you, then that's going to fit in beautifully with the theme. And I'd like some feedback as well, if you like that idea, because I only want to do it if other people want to do it. And I've got a project that I wanted to show you. I'm going to give you a sneak preview. I'm not going to show you everything because I'm aware that it's probably over an hour now already. But possibly this is going to be the project that I'm going to do for myself in the cal, but I need to think a bit more about it. I'll tell you more about this in the next episode, but I'll just show you the picture of the jumper. Oh, that's two jumpers. Right, so I want to finish my seed stitch jumper, don't I? But I'm also planning on knitting this. So it's a colour work. It's intarsia actually, but I'm going to do it as stranded colour work. But it will be the first colour work garment that I will have knitted, so that will be fitting nicely into the theme of the cal. But I might incorporate another. I did think the other day of something else that I would do, but I've forgotten what it is now, so I'll have another think about that and let you know. So if you want to join in with the cal throughout January, possibly it may go into February, but I need to think about that a little bit more and discuss it. We'll discuss that in the Ravelry group. So come along and I'll start a discussion off and we can hash out the details. Bearing in mind I'm not going to be around for summer February because I'm going to be on holiday, which I'll tell you about in the next episode. So yes, come along to the Ravelry group. If you're not already a member, come and introduce yourself in the Knit Lounge. Say hello in the Knit Lounge or in the introduction thread. And then pop into the January cal thread. And it will be further titled, by the next podcast we'll have found a proper title for it. So come along to the January cal thread, I'll write a little bit about the idea of the cal, and then let's have some chatter going on, some thoughts and ideas about that. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to another cal. I know the people in my Ravelry, some of the people in my Ravelry, in the Loop and Bar Ravelry group, have been wanting another cal, so yeah, that's going to be lovely. And I think, well, just let me see if there's anything else on my list that I need to tell you. No, I think that's everything. I think, anyway, I'll just do another podcast in a couple of weeks and tell you if I've forgotten anything, I'll just put it in there. So, that's it. So I hope everybody's had a very, very lovely Christmas, and I want to wish you a happy new year. It might already be New Year, or it might be about to be New Year. And in Welsh, we'll just pop a little Welsh word in, or a phrase. Happy New Year in Welsh is Blwyddyn Newydd Dda. So, Nadolig llaw na Blwyddyn Newydd Dda, a welwch chi yn y Blwyddyn Newydd. So I just said I'll see you in the new year. Thanks for watching and see you for the next episode. Bye!